Hey folks, welcome back. Out here in the woods today, what we're going to tackle is this red oak that came down. And when I say came down, it came down most of the way and then I winched the rest of the way down. I did that recently. Hopefully you came along for that video, but today we're going to do the cleanup job. We've got some snow inbound, and so I want to take care of this before it gets covered up. So what we're going to do mostly is just sort of assess what we have here and measure and cut for saw logs for the sawmill. And then anything else we'll leave in log length for the firewood. And so we'll see what we've got. We've got a variety of oak, and there's a maple over there, and it looks like a bit of a cherry, I think, mixed in over that way. So we'll get this all cut up. I'm going to be using my logger's tape today. You may not be familiar, you may be familiar. Very handy unit. We'll use that for the measuring, and then I'll get out my Husky, my 555, and we'll see about tackling this thing. This is going to make a heck of a lot of nice lumber, so hopefully there's not too much rot down there. But we'll start up there and see how far we get. Certainly looking like a bit of a job, that's for sure. Fortunately, I'm going to be using the log loader trailer here today, and so as soon as I get this cut up, we'll get that log loader trailer out here, pick up the logs, and we'll get it out of here. So glad you guys are back. Here we go. There's the old trusty steed. Had this thing for years. Let her warm up. Hollow. That's unfortunate. I was hoping I'd get not too much wastage here, but I bet I'm going to be down here at the very least. Oh well. Of stuff in there, just shooting water out of there. I got to go get a wedge though. I'm about to stick my bar in there for good, so we'll put a wedge in the top to keep it open. Hopefully we can get around the bottom. It's still hollow, unfortunately, so we're going to keep on moving down. All right, folks, we got the Wallenstein, the LXT115 here behind me. I just backed her in with the tractor. This log loader trailer is convenient because it's got the walking axle, so going over the terrain's easy, but it also has that hydraulic winch up top. So I'm going to be using that here today because I'm not going to be able to reach all of these logs. And of course, these ones are in the way, so I would have normally got the trailer closer, but such is life. So we'll use that winch, pull the logs over a little bit. We'll pick up all the little debris. And then the big ones, as I said here, we'll probably end up having to just skid them over to the sawmill. They're not going to be picked up by the trailer, I don't think. The trailer at full extension of the boom, 1,200 pound lift capacity. As you get that boom closer to the trailer, you can lift more than 1,200 pounds. But at this point, I would imagine that is a good bit more than 1,200 pounds. And so we're going to be pushing our luck if we try. So we'll get this fired up and we'll get these logs on the trailer. Here we go. one more lift for today. The rest of the log, the big piece, I'm going to skid once it snows just a little bit. Here's the piece we're going to try to load. And I'm not that optimistic, and the main reason I'm not that optimistic is I think this probably weighs over 1,200 pounds. However, it is relatively close to the trailer, and the conditions are good overall, nice and flat, and so I think I can pick it up, drag it that way a little bit. With it being so close to the trailer, I might just get enough to get it onto the trailer. We'll find out. Worth a try, and as you could tell, it was thinking about it, but it wasn't going to do it. And if you try to push stuff like that, what'll end up happening is you'll get it lifted partway over the trailer, and then you won't be able to lift it anymore. And then what might happen is you're in a predicament where you have to go down, but you don't have anywhere to go down. And so I called it quits right there. All right, so that's going to do it for me here today. I think we put a good dent into this red oak that came down. There's some stragglers floating around in there, little bits and pieces of firewood I'll dig out eventually. But for now, I got the main parts. As I said, it is going to snow, and so once it does snow, I'll skid these two with the tractor and probably the skidding winch. Now, I'm going to wait for it to snow because then I won't get all the dirt all in the bark, which I then have to cut with my sawmill. And so I don't think we'll have to wait too long for snow. I think it's inbound tonight. Now, before we go anywhere, let's just get a measure on the diameter of this log. What are we at? So give or take, we're 25 inches. Actually, if you come up halfway, you're probably at the better part of, oh, I don't know, maybe 26 inches. And so we'll say 26 inches on the small end for that piece. And that's 8.5 feet long, gives me just a little bit on each end. So we'll get 8-foot boards out of that. Now overall, I'd say it looks pretty good. However, I am seeing just a little bit of rot here, or hollowness, which means at the other end it's definitely bigger, but that's okay. Need to see the growth rings as well. We might count this tree just to see what we're dealing with. You may or may not know this. You can also tell the growing season conditions based on the distance the growth rings are from one another. When they're close together, that means it wasn't that great of a growing season. When they're far apart, it means the tree grew a lot in that year. So it probably had good growing conditions. Anyways, here's this one. Obviously the end of the other one couldn't quite lift this one either, which is no problem. I'd say overall it's gonna make some nice lumber nonetheless. So 1, 2, skidding it before long. Hopefully all you come back and join me for that, and we'll be back out at the sawmill or the wood splitter before long. As always, take care, be well out there, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next time.